Hey, it's Mike from Maker Moose. Today is part 3 of my Make All the Cards series, where I've made a lot of backgrounds and cut out a lot of focals in the previous 2 videos. Now I'm going to start assembling the first 15 of the cards. So here I have one of the mica spray stain backgrounds I did on shimmer paper, and one of the poinsettia blooms from Spellbinders, one of my favorite paper piecing holiday dies. So some of these I have cut out in different mirror cardstocks, and some were backed with a double-sided adhesive, die cut and bond. Not all of them were, but it makes paper piecing so much easier. But I'm essentially just going to be using the outline of this poinsettia so that the red comes through as the petals, as opposed to the petals being the colors. So here I'm just removing the outline of the poinsettia bloom, and then I'm removing all the interior petals, and then I'll be removing that double-sided adhesive that was on this one. I will be using micro dots for other ones. And here I was just sizing up. I'm matching this with the Spring Silver Tonic mirror cardstock that I used to cut it out with. And I've also cut out a little oval in the center of that cardstock just to save that for something else. It won't be seen, so I might as well save it for another card, and I think I actually end up using that in one of the cards that follows. So there's our first one done. I did use I believe it's called Merriest Christmas from Tailored Expressions for the stamp. But this, I love how elegant it is, how simple it is. Yeah, it's the first one I did from this batch, and definitely one of my favorites, one of the standouts. So, all right, and this is the Falala background stamp on Hero Arts Cherry cardstock. They've added some ink around the edge too, just to deepen the blend a little bit. And I was planning to use this Merriest Christmas stamp again, but I remembered I had one specifically about carols from an older Simon Hurley stamp, Caroline Squad. So I used that in gold embossing powder with my Silly Santa on it. And that was one of the first ideas I had for these cards as I was making the backgrounds, was that Silly Santa singing some carols. This is a Winter Wishes wreath. Winter wreath. The Winter Wishes sentiment did come from the Winter Wreath set, but I already had some poinsettias done from. It did come with some poinsettia dies, but I had some from last year from a Simon Hurley Floral Stag set, so I just used those because I did so many floral stags last year. And what I did with the sentiment there, because it was cut out of green, I just tapped it on the embossing pad, and then I used a snowy, I don't remember which one it was, but it had like all these different flakes in it, and just to make it look a little more wintry, a little frosty, I did that with the sentiment. And here I'm using the micro dots, the sticky folio from We Are Memory Keepers, to apply adhesive to that very thin wreath. I do that for a couple other things too. Throughout this video, I use it for some small snowflakes. This, I could have left out the ink blending, I think. I just wanted to highlight some of those poinsettias down below. But this was a very simple one. The Ski Lodge from Spellbinders, and then a Pink Fresh sentiment. And this card here was one of my other favorites. Just such a frosty looking, happy card, I think. Very bright colors, very shiny. There's not one piece of this that isn't shiny. So I used some Silky Sky cardstock there, cut out a rectangle so I can use that for later. And then I've got a sentiment there from Photoplay, Let It Snow. And then all those snowflakes came from the Tim Holtz Sizzix Dies mini snowflakes. I cut some off just to make it look a little more clean and finished, so that the mat, there's nothing going on the mat. This one, I should have thought about adding some double-sided adhesive tape, or foam tape, sorry, to the sentiment first, because it was a little hard to get the vellum with the double-sided adhesive to stick to those snowflakes. I did end up warming up the adhesive again so that I can push down around the edges so it better adhered. But very simple, warm winter wishes, and just in the center of that, like I said, I would have liked to add some double-sided foam tape there to pop that up to make it a little more noticeable. So this card here, I just took a little bit of that berry, branches and berries, lined it with a small little strip of gold, and then again I'm using those holiday sentiments from Photoplay for Holly Jolly and a Silly Santa running with presents. I just thought, what a cute card, what a fun card. Threw in that big pop of green there just to offset the red. I do like to mix patterned paper or a background stamp with more of a plain card front if I can. This was a gold wash with just Silent Night, Holy Night stamped onto it, and on some glitter cardstock. I was planning to distress this, but I couldn't find my sandpaper at the time, so that's okay. Still looks good. And again, I did cut out another oval. I do that with a lot of the mats that aren't just like plain cardstock. And here I was deciding, do I want this in front or actually behind? Because I thought, you know what? I could also use the oval as to highlight my focal point, but I did like it more of the square. I don't use ovals often enough. I tend to cut them out a lot of cardstock, but I don't tend to use them as much as I plan to. So, all right, and this one here I actually had trouble with. I ended up having to do the Mary part of this stamp. This is a great stamp set from Colorado Craft Company. It does huge card front stamps. It's a mix and match kind of set. But I had some issues with this one. I didn't like my first impression, so I tried to wipe it away and then redo it, but it double stamped, so I ended up having to let it dry for a little bit till that clear embossing powder was completely dry before I did it a third time. That's the nice thing about heat embossing. If you don't get it right the first time, just wipe it away, let it dry, and go again. This is a simple card. I didn't do this diamond snowflake die cut in my focal point video. I did already have a bunch of these done, but I thought, I'll use it. Again, this is on some pearlescent vellum from Lawn Fawn, sorry. And again, I have lined it with a double-sided adhesive before I do all this. Actually, no, I haven't lined it yet because I was going to heat emboss. I didn't want to heat up the double-sided adhesive. So I've heat embossed the vellum, and now I'm going to apply my double-sided adhesive with a brayer just to make sure I get out any of the air bubbles. And this is die cut and bond. I actually saw this technique where you do the whole piece of vellum, actually from Brennan's Crafty Corner. He was using a Tonic Studios double-sided adhesive, but it seems to work great with the die cut and bond as well, which is great because I have a huge roll of this. I mostly use it for paper piecing, but I love vellum on cards. And there I'm using the Sparkle Classics Crafts cardstock oval that I had cut out. I forced myself on the evergreen background stamp from Simon Hurley, again with the Pink Fresh brush sentiments. And I did have, that just says good cheer. I do have a stamp somewhere that says sending tidings of that I want to put on there. I haven't found it, but I still think it works even just saying good cheer. So All good. Retro Santa, one of my favorite die cuts that I did. I got this last year. I'm not sure if it came out last year, but I used that so much last year. I absolutely love it. It's like 4 dies, maybe even 3. So easy, so great. I did ink him up quite a bit to add some depth, but I did 2 Retro Santa cards there in a row. Again, Silly Santas, that's going to be definitely used a lot this year. And that stamp, You're on the Naughty List, I just thought was so funny and sassy that I just had to. So here are the 15 cards that I made in this video. So this was Retro Santa with the Hero Arts Snowflake Messages. I believe it's Hero Arts in gold. And then the photo play. I love this one, this Merry Christmas one. It just looks so retro to me. I love that Pink Fresh sentiment set. It looks very vintage, and I really, really like that. Love the simplicity of that. Seasons of Peace. This is the one I struggled with, but I think I'm going to do a few of those. I really, really liked that. And this again is such a fun card. I'd give this to someone of any age. Some of these cards are more geared towards. I think they're more classy, kind of elegant cards, but I really like those fun ones. Like this one, I think is so fun. This could go for again to anyone of any age. This Happy Holidays, that's something I'd send to a family member of mine that, just it's simple, it's nice. Winter Wishes, again. The only thing I don't like about that card is I think the background's a little too busy on that one card. I wish I'd put more stuff on that wreath, which I still can. And that Fa La La, I love that. And then the Poinsettia Bloom, again, I think that is the most beautiful card. I can't wait to make more of these. I've still got probably 20 to 25 cards to make for part 4 here. These are the first 15 that I made. I did end up counting the backgrounds that I think something like 67 backgrounds that I made in that last video. So I probably won't get through all of them, at least not on video. But thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you haven't checked out part 1 and part 2, please do. The thing I love about the backgrounds that I made is a lot of them can be used year round. I have a box of backgrounds that I use. So check that out, and we'll see you in the next video.